So I feel like there's someone from your past who thought that you would never get over them. You could have had a very powerful soul connection with this person, some kind of soulmate. You may have thought they were your twin flame. And this person basically took you for granted. I feel like spirit was presenting them with like a soul challenge. This was like a soul agreement that you made before incarnating. And I don't feel necessarily, I mean, it will be different for different people. I don't feel like necessarily that you were meant to end up together. And maybe in hindsight, you can see this clearly. But they were presented with a soul challenge, something their soul and the soul family wanted them to achieve. And what this was all about was, the challenge was for them to be more authentic. So not about you ending up together, but them being more authentic. And I feel like this person, they had so many opportunities. This connection may have gone on for many years. They had so much time, so many opportunities to be more authentic, because I feel like spirit was guiding this person, nudging them forwards to become more real, be more authentic. And they just kept sitting on it, you know, they just kept burying their head in the sand. They just kept avoiding doing that. And I feel like they took you for granted. It's like they kept you waiting. And the reason why deep down you were waiting for so long is because deep down you knew that there was some sort of soul agreement, some sort of soul contract, and you were waiting for this person to take that guidance and do the thing that their soul hoped to achieve. It's almost like I'm seeing before you incarnated, this person was surrounded by the soul family, including your soul, and there was this agreement that it would be extremely challenging for this person to be authentic, but there was always like a hope that they would make that choice in this lifetime. And so this is why many of you deep down kept waiting for this person, but then it's like spirit eventually just had to pull the plug on this. And that is when like that soul contract was broken, because it wasn't fair on you to keep waiting. Okay, so let's dive deeper. Let's look at some cards. I don't feel like, and take whatever resonates, it will be different for different people. I don't feel like this person was a really like bad or evil person, but they acted foolishly with you. We have the Ace of Wands. This person, it's like they thought that you would never like move on, or you'd never wake up. I feel like this person, they were leading you on, or they were doing things to keep you there. They wanted you to keep waiting. They wanted you to always be there for them. I see this person talking a lot to their friends about you and your connection, and again, maybe for many years. But and some of you may have been really surprised by this, like you may have bumped into their friends a few times, and you may not have even known their friends, but they all seem to know you, and it may have really took you by surprise. But this is them trying to paddle or move back into your life. For some of you, you may have moved on from this person quite a few years ago, and it's taken them, it may have taken them many years to really figure out that you have actually moved on, because they may have done a lot of foolish things. They may have done some deceitful things that hurt you, and in the past, because there was that soul contract and you could really feel that, you still were waiting on them, and you may have forgiven them. You may have brushed a lot of things under the carpet as well. And back then I feel like you couldn't see clearly, but when you moved on, they may have deceived you. Something would have happened that would have been the final straw, and you would have seen everything clearly, like that fog of confusion or the fog of illusion would have been lifted from your eyes. This was Spirit also saying that, you know, it was time for you to move on, and you would have really, really felt that. And if they deceived you in some kind of way or something happened, that would have been like the final straw. That was the soul contract had been broken at that point. But this is, I feel like they've been spying on you this whole time. Like they took you for granted. They thought you would always be there for them no matter what. That's why they were sitting back and not taking action. I feel like they were using you as like a crutch in their life. And they may have spent all of this time spying on you, watching you, trying to get back or come towards you again, but it's been over for quite a long time for you. We have the Two of Cups. So yeah, for some of you, there is a very powerful soul connection here. You may not, you know, some of you may really hate this person, but many of you, you won't ever hate this person because there is a powerful soul contract. But nonetheless, that contract is over. And you may be looking back at this person and feeling like they were just foolish. They acted immaturely with you. But yeah, they did have these genuine feelings for you. In some cases, you may have met this person when you were both really young, or they were really young, and in a way that kind of contributes to some of the immaturity. You may not have been perfect yourself either, like in the past, but they want to come towards you. This normally, traditionally, Two of Cups shows them coming forwards and offering you their heart. But I feel like you knew it was over, so you've not been open or receptive to this person this whole time. And I feel like I said, it's taken them many years to realise that you were serious, because you may have kept going back to this person in the past, but Spirit made it abundantly clear to you in that final Tower moment your worth, and that you do deserve better. And you may have realised this person is never going to change. They may have led you on. They may have been sort of feeding you like stories about how they are transforming, how they want to be together. And yet it was all words. They weren't taking action. We have the Seven of Cups. Everything was always up in the air, is what I'm feeling. Like this person, they would have made you feel a lot of insecurities. You were like, what's going on? Their actions and their words weren't matching up. And yet you felt that there was this strong connection, and you were holding on because you knew deep down there was that soul contract. I feel like this person, they couldn't see clearly. I feel like they weren't as awakened as you are, or they couldn't see this connection clearly. They couldn't see the wood for the trees, is what I'm hearing. You may have been telling this person about having this powerful soul contract, and I do feel like they could feel that, and they knew that. But it's like, I'm hearing the saying, you can lead a camel to water, but you can't. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. They couldn't see clearly. I feel like they were caught up. I feel like this connection and how you felt about them, I feel like it went to their head a lot. It sort of built up their ego a lot, and that was blinding them, and that's where they were making a lot of foolish decisions. I do feel like they're seeing things more clearly now, but I still feel like ultimately they're the same as they were before. The Eight of Pentacles. Yeah, I feel like this person, they've been working to try and get back into your life, but like I said, that soul contract was broken. You knew your worth. You know your worth. And this person, they've been in the background watching you. This is also what that Seven of Cups is about. Watching you from afar. And your person is like really shocked. That person is really shocked about how much you have transformed and grown, and knowing your worth and seeing things clearly. Like, you've really left them in the past. It's like they couldn't keep up with you spiritually. And yet, you know, it's so strange because there's all different levels to this, okay? I feel it, even though I feel like they failed this test, this spiritual test, they kept failing it over and over and over. On the other hand, I feel like this has happened for a reason, because well, for both of you, you've learnt so much from this. You were planting so many positive seeds. You were working very hard on that connection. You are someone who gives your all. You are putting a lot of positive karma out there. And it's all coming back to you, or it already has all come back to you and continues to, you know. It's like, for some of you, you may have met someone new, or, you know, if you've only just moved on from this person, you're going to meet someone new who is going to be a match to your energy, someone who's going to mirror back your capacity to love, how much you're able to love. This new person that's come in loves you completely. This is someone that completely saw your worth. This person in the past, they didn't see your worth. And I feel it's partly because you couldn't see your own worth within yourself. So they were mirroring a lot of this back to you. But you were planting a lot of positive seeds. And then Spirit had to pull the plug on this with this previous person, because Spirit was getting annoyed, like, well, not annoyed, but Spirit knew that you deserved better. And this person had many chances. And you and Spirit was always hopeful that this person would step forward and be more authentic. But they never did it. There's something, these types of connections, the Hanged Man, yeah, they've been in a pause. They're seeing things clearly now. This is about enlightenment. Their life may have been turned upside down when you walked away, but they were being unfair on you, like they were expecting you to put your life on hold, whilst they just did whatever they wanted and avoided doing that spiritual work. But there's some of you, you know, these intense connections, they often bring about or trigger up a lot of enemies, so to speak. Like, when you have these powerful connections, there's like this explosion of light within you, within the other person. People around you both can sense the magnitude of this light, of this love, of this connection. And it brings up a lot of people's triggers, okay? So for some of you, this person even there was enemies that come up, but the enemies would have been surrounding them, would have been on their side. And these would have been people who would have been gossiping about you, like really badly. They would have been smearing your name. They would have been trying to get your person to turn on you. They would have been trying to pull your person away from you. And I feel like this person, they were being really two-faced. This is only for some of you, okay? Like, they were being two-faced. They were more afraid of what their friends, i.e. the enemies, your enemies, thought of them. They are more concerned and wrapped up with what these supposed friends were thinking of them. How would these enemies view them? Because they were people surrounding them. And I feel like they didn't stick up for you. And in some cases, I feel like they even would have gone along with, you know, speaking badly about you. When they were with those group of people, they would have even joined in with that to save face. They were more concerned about saving face and fearful of these people like rejecting them or looking down on them or seeing them in a bad light. But the thing is, this is how this person was deceiving you. And I feel like they didn't realize that you knew all this. And they thought, oh, you won't know, you know, I'm going to be all nice to your face. Deep down, I love you. Like, I have all these feelings for you. But when I'm with these so-called friends that are really like your enemies, they were joining in with that at times. And they were like, oh, you'll never know. You, the viewer, won't ever know about this. But Spirit knows. Like, Spirit saw everything, okay? And this new person that you've already met or you're going to meet, I'm telling you, you planted so many positive seeds in this previous connection, because this is who you are. You're very loving, you're very loyal, you're very authentic, open-hearted, giving, generous. You're trying to help this person because of that soul contract, for them to, you know, overcome their karma, I feel. So you are planting all of this positivity, and Spirit also saw all of that, okay? They witnessed everything. They could see the intentions in your heart, and they could see like the negative intentions in this person's heart. And so when Spirit had to pull the plug and you really felt that strong need to move on, like it was like a wave, a huge wave moving you forward, and you just went with it, and you would have felt relieved. Some of you may have felt very surprised at how easy it was to actually move on from that person, because it felt like a huge relief, because you'd been putting in so much work. You were carrying a lot of weight on your shoulders. You were carrying the weight of that connection. You were trying to get that soul agreement to happen. But yeah, Spirit witnessed the intentions in your heart, all of that effort, that 1,000% that you put into everything. And they had to pull the plug in the end, because this person, I see them like really, really taking you for granted. So you had to move on. And when you did, this is when Spirit aligned you with this new person who really does love you, who really does appreciate you, who doesn't take you for granted. And you have this absolutely beautiful, amazing connection. Or for some of you, this is what will happen. And yeah, for some of you, this new person, they would have, again, because this always happens in these intense connections, the sheer amount of light between you and your divine counterpart, it triggers a lot of people. So there may have been different enemies that suddenly turned up. Again, it always seems to be against you, the divine feminine. So with the new person, there would have been, if it resonates, these other enemies coming up. And this new person, you know, this is all done by design. Spirit needed you to see this new person. They would have stuck up for you, okay? They would have done some things. You may have witnessed a few incidences of this person, this new person, sticking up for you. Something that this past person never did. And this would have touched your heart very, very deeply, okay? And it came so easily, so naturally for this new person to really, truly be there for you and value you and know your worth and show you that and stick up for you and really, truly be there for you. So this is what I mean by everything happens for a reason, because I feel like this previous connection, you've learned so much from it. It ultimately made you realize your worth, because there would have come a point, you know, when Spirit pulled the plug on that soul contract, where you realized just how much work you had put in, how loving, kind, generous you had been. And then seeing this person, something would have happened where it would have become crystal clear to you that they were taking you for granted, maybe even leading you on, maybe even deceiving you. And you could sense them chatting to their friends about all of this, and it had all gone to their head. They thought you would always be there for them, and that they could just talk about you all of the time, not always negatively, but, you know, it had gone to their head, and it was kind of like it turned into sort of game for them, or they just weren't taking it seriously. But you always had been. So then you are drawing in, you are receiving what you deserve in this new person, someone who takes you seriously, really sees your worth, really sees who you are. Because this person in the past, they couldn't see the entirety of your being. And I feel it's because you couldn't see it either. And I'm telling you, they've been watching you this whole time. They're watching you receiving this new connection, this new love, your upgrades in your own soul evolution. They're witnessing you succeeding on your soul contracts, your soul agreements that you hope to achieve. They're seeing that you always work really hard, and therefore that is why you are receiving all of this back to you tenfold. But you walked away, and they were in this hangman position, or so they thought, like, because they were hanging in there. They were like, what's going on? And like I said, I feel like it's taken them many years for it to really sink in that when you walked away initially, you were serious with that. You had. There was no going back. You'd outgrown that connection, that soul contract, that person. I mean, your soul family. So this is how kind-hearted you are. Some of you, you know, you don't have animosity towards this previous person. You know, because it's a soul family connection. You will always love this person, but, you know, it's kind of like when you can always love someone from the past, but they're not in your focus anymore, you know. Your paths have parted ways and have done for a long time. But it's like you placed them in this hanged man position. You were presented to this person and to each other, because you were both learning a lot from each other and the situation, but you were also presented to them so that they could learn things and work on themselves to become more authentic. But they were, like I said, using you as a crutch, and they weren't progressing forward at all. Whereas you were using that connection to learn and grow, and so you outgrew them. And now with this hangman position, which represents enlightenment, it's like your person, they had to learn the hard way through your absence, because they weren't learning with you in their life. But I still feel like they have learned a lot, but they're still very much still in that old vibration. It's like they were choosing those enemies over you, and that is who they've ended up with, you know. They've ended up surrounded with toxic karmic people because that's what they chose. That's the choice that they made. And they're realising what they had in you once you're long gone. But this has all happened this really helped you, you know, this happened for a divine reason for you, because it really, really, really helped prepare you for this true love with this new person. It helped you become ready and mature and having that self-love to be able to carry forward balance, harmony, and working in union with this new person in really positive ways. And Spirit would have made it very clear to you with this new person's maturity in comparison to, you know, the old person. There's a stark contrast, okay? You're receiving the love that you always deserved, the love that you always gave out. Yeah, look, we have justice. This makes me think of judgment as well. I'm telling you, Spirit was like, enough is enough now. We're pulling the plug on this. And you would have been lifted up. I'm telling you, there was like this huge wave that just carried you forward. And it would have felt easy because it made you realise you had been holding all of this weight. You constantly felt insecure with this previous person. You felt insecure because their words and actions weren't matching up. I feel like they were leading you on, or they were just saying what you wanted to hear. They're mirroring a lot of things back to you to keep you there, because that was feeding their ego. It was healing them somewhat, but a lot of it was going to their head. And this is Spirit like judging them, okay? This is why they're hung up like this as well. I feel like Spirit's teaching them a lesson. I don't mean that in an arrogant way, like you're like, ha ha ha. Because like I said, many of you aren't. You're kind-hearted individuals. But you are. You realise that they are witnessing your complete transformation. It's like they're witnessing what they could have had. Even though in another way, I feel like it wasn't ever destined for that to happen. It was for them to learn a lot the hard way. It's like they chose the hard path. But they could have had a lot more harmony with you. Two of Cups is here. But they decided not to follow that guidance. So they're under judgment. Justice came in. You are receiving this justice. You're receiving the love that you truly deserve. And with this new person, it just happens naturally. I feel like you had to go through all of this with this previous person to love yourself, to clear out a lot of blocks and wounds and love yourself, put all of this work into yourself. And then, yeah, this new person comes along and they are a reflection of your worth, seeing your value, because you learnt to see your own value. And it was such a stark contrast, or it's going to be such a stark contrast. Nine of Pentacles. This is you becoming independent from this person. Spirit opened the door. This door had to close so a new door could open with all of this abundance. Justice. This was part of your soul contract with this person, was for you to learn your worth. Look, yeah, Tower moment. You are receiving this abundance. This other person from the past had a complete Tower moment. You could have like been trying to tell this person, show this person that which you could see clearly, that this was like a divine connection. It was about following inner guidance, learning a lot of things. You could have been, for the longest time, trying to show this person all these things. But look, like I said, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. This person had to learn the hard way through Tower moments. Something devastating to you, very heartbreaking, may have had to happen to make you wake up and realise as well. Like once the tower had crumbled in that connection and the dust had settled, it's like all of that heaviness that you were carrying in that connection was released, and you could see clearly, and you were free to be in your abundance of everything that you had learned from that connection. And for some of you, this is the new connection, your vibration mirroring back to you, being manifest in your life. Let's look at some messages cards. I made the wrong decision. I can't stop kicking myself. So yeah, This Tower moment may have been that they made some sort of decision which was a path moving away from you, but they still wanted you in their life, so they would have deceived you about this or hidden this decision that they'd made. They would have been hiding that they were going down some other path from you because they still wanted you holding on. They're kicking themselves because they made the wrong decision. They didn't follow that inner guidance. And like I said, I don't feel like it was destined for some of you to end up together, but you could have had like a lot more authenticity between you both. They could have learnt that because you were always authentic to them. I feel like you came into their life as an inspiration, but they made the wrong decision and they're kicking themselves. And I feel like they've been hung up to dry, or they've been hung up, they've been put in that energy of regret for a long time. I'm hearing from Spirit the reason why they're watching your transformation and why you're transforming so much is because this new person, they really do bring out these deep inner depths within yourself that you didn't even realize about yourself. You and this new person, you bring out the best in each other, the truth, love. And you've transformed so much because this new person, they create this firm foundation where you know you're so loved and valued. They make you feel safe and secure. They've stuck up for you. All these things that didn't happen in the past, this past situation, in the new situation, it's created this firm foundation for you to feel safe and secure and grow into yourself through that, through this divine love that this new person feels for you, offers you. But let's look more at this old person. I'm too asleep to resonate with a love so profound. You were trying to wake this person up, okay? Like I said though, they couldn't see clearly. But I feel they may have been deceiving you, like mirroring you and making out like they were understanding a lot of things. And you, part of that Tower moment was the sudden realization that they can't be understanding. They were just making out that they were in line with you or on the same track or understanding what you were saying and what this was all about. I feel like you realised they were just making some of that up. I feel like they definitely had some sort of understanding, but they were making out that they realised a lot more things than what they did. I'm too asleep to resonate with a love so profound. This is why they've been left with those toxic energies and toxic situations. They may have chosen someone toxic over you, and that's what they're left with, because they weren't in the right vibration to be able to progress forward. The connection run its course. Time was up. I feel foolish when I see how immature I was in the past. This was their lesson, okay? I mean, this is why some of you don't have animosity towards this person, because you do see the bigger picture and you see all of this had to happen. And this is how you both have helped each other to grow and mature in your own unique ways. And without this past situation, you wouldn't be having such a firm foundation with this new person. I'm sorry, I've been foolish and taken you for granted. I regret hurting you. So foolish has come out twice in a row. I feel foolish. I'm so sorry, I've been foolish. Yeah. And this is the ironic thing. A lot of that waiting that you would have done was you trying to make them see that they were acting foolishly and that they kept acting foolishly. And you were trying to like show them this, tell them this, because you could see the bigger picture, but they really couldn't. The only way they could really see the truth was by your absence, through your absence. Past life karma is causing a deep rejection fear I'm not even consciously aware of. So underlining this past person was this intense fear of rejection. That is why when these enemies had this plan to separate you both and interfere in your connection, this person was so afraid of rejection that they chose that side, the side of toxicity. And again, I feel like for the longest time they thought that you never knew about all of this, but you always did. But that's sort of indicating how you weren't loving yourself because you were brushing a lot of things under the carpet in the past. But now you don't do that. Now you're honest with yourself. I was holding on too tight and it was too painful. I feel like deep down your person, they did want to make that decision to be more authentic, but they were terrified. They just couldn't do it. They were standing on that threshold for so long, but they never stepped over that threshold. And they may have made some decision to go in a different direction because I feel like they felt bad about themselves, like they knew that they were at this threshold. They knew that what spirit was trying to urge them to do, that they just felt like they could never do it, and it was eating away at their self-esteem. I feel like toxic people may have been temporarily making them feel better. But it led to the Tower moment, which was that blessing in disguise, because they have actually learnt so much more through learning the hard way. I'm too needy of you and I don't want to appear weak. They were playing some sort of games, wearing some sort of mask. I feel like they didn't want to appear to be weak in front of those enemies. So they were like just playing along with like these negative narratives that they were saying about you. We both have so much to learn and experience on other paths. We will always be connected though. This is what I'm saying. You are soul family, but it's like in this lifetime, you've played these roles in each other's lives, and then it was time to move on. We have please give me another chance, I'm begging you. But you know that this has been over for you for so long. And I don't feel like, for most of you, it's like you feel so much more expanded now, like you feel like a completely different person, that this connection isn't for you. Like you wouldn't be able to squeeze yourself back into that, and you certainly wouldn't want to put back all of those heavy weights that you're carrying on your shoulders for that whole time. Let's get just a few more cards. Give me a second chance, please, I beg you. We literally just had this. When I made this deck, I didn't realise I'd made this card twice, pretty much the same. Please give me another chance, I'm begging you. It's over though, you know, time has gone on, it's over. Like I was just saying. I can't live up to your fantasies. I feel like you could recognise this person's soul, but in their 3D human self, they were very different to their soul. Like there was a lot more immaturity in their 3D self. I can't live up to your fantasies. I feel like they were trying to create a fantasy with you though, i.e. they were trying to lead you on in some kind of way by telling you that they are doing the work, or they are coming forwards, they're going to be doing this, that, the other. But it was all talk. If I show you my feelings, you might go off of me. So yeah, they were holding back their feelings a lot. Let's get one more card. Yeah. I'm so very sorry. Please find it in your heart to forgive me. Many of you have forgiven this person. It's certainly doesn't mean that you would offer them back into your life at all. But for you, I feel like you've settled the karma, like you moved on and you're at peace with that situation. It's something in the past now. And I'm seeing at the bottom of the deck, I can't tell you how scared I am that you might have moved on. I feel like part of that judgment, part of that karma has been witnessing you moving on. And yeah, a lot of it came down to there's so much I want to express to you, but when it comes down to it, I always back out. They weren't telling you their feelings. I am a mess. I don't even know how to love myself or have a healthy relationship. Look, someone's urgently, knocking at the door. I know it's like my food delivery. But I've just received a message on the phone saying it's been delivered. So they're supposed to just leave it outside. But them urgently knocking at the door is like representing this person from your past. Please give me another chance. But it's done and dusted. So I really, really hope this reading has resonated with you. If it has, please let me know in the comments. Give it a thumbs up, share it, subscribe. That will really help me out with the algorithm. Thank you so much for joining me here. Take care. Bye.